What's good, y'all? Anderson Emerald here to talk about the Paris Diamond League, which is going down tomorrow, this Friday on June 20th, out in Paris, France. And I do think this meet on the sprints and hurdles and jump side is getting slightly overlooked because there are some high quality distance races that are going down. But there are some really powerful storylines, in my opinion, specifically in the men's 110 hurdles as well as the women's 400. So let's start off with the men's 110 hurdles because this race is going to be the return of Grant Holloway in the 2025 outdoor season. He's going to be going up against a very, very, very high quality field, which includes the likes of Trey Cunningham, which includes Jamal Britt, who won Grand Slam track in Philly. Trey Cunningham won Grand Slam track in Miami. You also have guys like Eric Edwards, who's in the mix. You have Dylan Beard. You have William Belosian. There's a couple other guys here, right? You have Rachid Muratake from Japan. A lot of athletes are actually in this mix who are going to be, facing Grant Holloway. Let me not forget guys like Jason Joseph, et cetera, et cetera. But Grant Holloway making his return. The last time that we saw him on the track was all the way back in April when he competed at the Xiamen Diamond League. But coming off one of the last hurdles, he unfortunately landed wrong and he, just kind of like let off the gas and ended the race all the way in the back of the pack. Now, after that, he took a couple months off at this point, right? We're towards the end of June. And he said in the press conference before the meet today that, he was looking to just took time off to get his mental, his physical, his emotional, like all those aspects right before he does jump on the track. The also important thing is that Grant Holloway has the wild card to the World Championships by way of being the defending world champion from 2013. So he doesn't have to worry about competing at USA Trials, which is at the end of July and the beginning of August. Doesn't have to peak there. He'll probably run, a round or two, go to semis or something, and then pull out of the final or, something along those lines. His focus is those World Championships, so he can kind of shift his training cycle to make sure he's prepared for mid to late September as opposed to July or August like in previous years. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does actually show up here on the track in Paris. He's run 13.18 seconds, which I think he ran down in Florida when he finished second place to Trey Cunningham. But if I'm going into a 110 meter hurdle race, it's hard for me to pick against anyone except Grant Holloway. Now, what's interesting here in Paris is that they do have rounds. They're going to have a first round and then a final. So all these athletes are going to have to execute first, and then into the final is where we'll actually see them really put on the jets. I don't have any true time predictions because it's hard to actually predict what specific time someone will run. We've seen Cordell Tinch, who's not in this field, we've seen him run 12.87 seconds all the way back in April while he was at those Chinese Diamond Leagues, but came to Grand Slam track and he didn't run as fast. He did still run extremely fast. I mean, you're talking about 13.0 in any capacity is still going to be fast. Same thing with Trey Cunningham. He's run 13 flat at the Miami Grand Slam track meet, but then came to Philly, didn't run as fast. At the Adidas Atlanta City Games, he ran, I think, 13.1. So the times are going to vary across the board, but it will just be interesting to see how Grant Holloway does fare in his first race back against pretty much, the most high quality field you can get outside of having Cordell Tinch and Daniel Roberts here or, and Rashid Broadbell, Hansel Parchment. You have all the guys I just mentioned. I didn't even mention, Freddie Crittenden. I didn't even mention Enrique Lopez, right? There's so many guys who are in this mix that is going to make it very interesting. But I do have an eye on Trey Cunningham. Trey Cunningham, he has been having a very consistent season, all things considered, especially coming off the Philly Grand Slam track meet where I think he finished third place in those hurdles. But he is having a very consistent season, and coming off of, injuries the past couple years, missing the team in 2023 and 2024, Trey Cunningham is on a mission to make the World Championship team this year in 2025 for the United States. This is just a stepping stone towards that. You also have Freddie Crittenden. He's also kind of had an up and down season overall. I feel like he's gotten progressively better, especially in Grand Slam track over the past couple months, but we're going to see how he does fare here. The main guy that I do have my eye on here is Muratake from Japan. He is going to be competing here after he won the Tokyo Golden Grand Prix. He had set a season's best of 13.10 seconds, personal best of 13.04, which is the national record for Japan, equal, with his compatriot. He finished 5th place at the Olympic Games last year. I'm excited to see how he does continue to fare against some of these top guys because we know he's able to compete with, again, these top guys, but I feel like he flies under the radar a little bit. So we'll see how he actually does fare here. Shout out to Jamal Britt. Again, he's coming off winning Grand Slam track. Dylan Beard, he won the 110 hurdles at Grand Slam track in Kingston. He's been kind of on the European circuit, so very strong field, but look out for Grant Holloway. When he is in the field, you can never count him out. Right, he's a favorite going into World Championships. Like, I trust that him taking time off was very essential to make sure he comes back to be the best that he can be. So shout out to Grant Holloway. After that, the other storyline, the main storyline I'm looking at is the women's 400, because we're going to have a very high quality field that includes the Olympic champion, Marlene Paulino, the Olympic silver medalist, Sawa Naser, the Olympic 5th place finisher, Amber Anning. You have Isabella Whitaker, who's literally been on a tear this year and looks like maybe the favorite going into USA's, but Lika Klaver is in this field, Lena Irby-Jackson. Like, this is a very high quality field that all these women are actually competing in. Now, Marlene Paulino, I think, was a recent entrant into the field. She was slated, of course, to compete in Grand Slam track in Los Angeles before it was actually canceled. Same thing with Sawa Naser, though I think Sawa might have been scheduled for this race. I'm not exactly sure, but regardless, now we get Paulino versus Naser once again, and this has been the competition that we've been looking at all throughout the entire season. In Kingston, Sawa Naser got the win along with Gabby in second. Paulino was third. Marlene Paulino bounced right back in Miami and Philly and dominated those long sprints group, taking it to Sawa Naser in both those races. Now we get to see them once again head to head. And I love the competition between these two because it's really pushing them to be better athletes. In my opinion, Marlene Paulino might go undefeated for the rest of the year, but that doesn't mean that Sawa Naser is not going to be right on her tail. She's going to be fighting to get a win once again. She is the world leader at 48.67 seconds this year already. So she clearly has that in her. Sawa has recently run a few, I think 100 and a 200 race. I forget if it was, I think it was down in Florida. So she's, working on that sprint speed. She has run, a couple good 49-second races across the board. So she, of course, is going to be one who can never be counted out. Paulino, on the other hand, she's been focused on Grand Slam track. She's been running those 400s and those 200s. She was going to run in LA. Now here's a little bit of a pivot a week earlier than she planned. But she is, of course, one who does not want to lose, just like every other athlete. But Paulino has that drive, has that focus, and she wants to defend her world championship title later on this year in Tokyo. Getting through Sawa Naser is going to be one of those steps. So this is exciting to see them both. In the press conference, Paulino actually said that she doesn't want to end either the season or their careers without, I think the translation was off, but it said like getting under the 47-second barrier. I think she actually meant breaking the 48-second barrier, so running 47 seconds. And this is the second time that she's actually communicated that. Check out the video I did a few weeks back where I spoke about if the women could actually break the 400-meter world record, that 47.60 set all the way back in 1985. Marlene Paulino at Grand Slam track in Miami, she actually said breaking the world record is one of her goals. So now she's saying like she wants to get under the 48-second barrier. Like I said in that video, the mindset, the drive, the goal, setting that goal is the first step towards it. Now, breaking 48 seconds is no joke. Let alone breaking the actual world record of 47.6, that's no joke. But again, that first step is saying, maybe I can actually do that. And Marlene Paulino seems to be speaking about it very openly. She's, of course, a little bit older than some of the other athletes in the field when we're talking about the 400. So maybe she realizes, hey, I have a maybe small window of time to make sure that I can actually attack this while I'm in good form. So this might be the play for Paulino. I'm excited to see how she does, play out for the rest of the year. And of course, this race tomorrow. Now, the rest in this field, I'm looking at Isabella Whitaker. She has been on a roll this summer season where she's got the win at the Oslo Diamond League in the 400. She got the win at the Stockholm Diamond League in the 400. In Grand Slam track in both Miami and then also in Philly, she did pretty well in both the 400s there. She signed a professional contract with On. So, of course, she had an NIL deal while she was at Arkansas, but now she's officially an On sprinter. Huge shout outs to her. I'm excited to see how she does here. Now she's going to be in another race with Paulino and Naser. I look at her as potentially the slight favorite going into USA's. We'll talk about that at another time as well, but you have athletes like Alina Irby-Jackson here. You have athletes like Aaliyah Butler, who of course won the NCAAs in a very strong performance. You have Kaylin Brown, didn't do as well, but she ran 49.1 last year. You have Alexis Holmes. You have so many women who are in the conversation for the 400. It's really wide open, but Isabella Whitaker looks to be the slight favorite when talking about women on paper. But speaking of the USA, Lena Aubrey-Jackson is in some really great form. She just ran 50.23 seconds at the Racers Grand Prix down in Jamaica, which I think was her one of her top five performances all time. It's really a testament to, I don't know, her growth, her development. She actually left Tandra Buford-Bailey's sprint group down in Texas, and she moved to Vanderbilt, and she's now training with her old coach, I think while she was first at University of Georgia. So Lena Aubrey-Jackson in a new place, in a new training environment, and it seems to be going well. I'll be interested to see how she does fare here. Now, you do have Amber Anning. She is in the field, hasn't had the greatest start to her 2025 season, coming off, the indoor world 400 gold that she got, but she, of course, is going to be building up as the year progresses. Lieke Klaver, another one who's also going to be building up after a very strong indoor campaign where she got the European gold medal in the 400. So we'll see how she actually does, fare here. And then shout out to Martina Wheel as well as Bossier from France as well. So these women in the 400, this is exciting. Very, very high stakes here when we're talking about, implications going on for the rest of the year, especially with Grand Slam Track LA no longer occurring. We're not going to get that quote unquote boss battle with, Paulino and Naser, Sydney McLaughlin-Leroni, Gabby Thomas, but one day, who knows? Now, few other races that I am interested in. Women's 100-meter hurdles. This is always one of the most high-quality races. Every time I talk about this, there's a new set of athletes in the field, and they're all the best of the best. Tobi Amusan, world record holder. Devin Charlton, two-time, world indoor champ and the world indoor record holder. Kenny Harrison, former world record holder. Previous Olympic silver medalist, like multiple-time world championship medalist. You have Alicia Johnson, Olympic finalist and world championship qualifier on a few occasions. Akira Nugent, right? Two-time Grand Slam champion, one of the fastest athletes, I think the world leader last year in 2024. You have Pia Skrzydowska, Grace Stark, Nadine Visser. Like literally every single athlete in this field is insanely fast. Devin Charlton, the world indoor record holder in the 60-meter hurdles, has the slowest personal best at 12.44 seconds. Everyone else is faster than 12.4 seconds. This is insane in terms of the quality here. Again, it's impossible to actually predict who will come out on top here, but you look at someone like Grace Stark, who now has 2 Diamond League wins under her belt, one in China and then most recently at the Stockholm Diamond League. Tobi Amusan also won the Diamond League in Rabat earlier this year. Devin Charlton has been set a season's best at the Stockholm Diamond League. Kenny Harrison has been running consistently. Alicia Johnson hopefully getting back into the mix. Akira Nugent, she's been, of course, dominant. Like, this field is so competitive that it's hard to ever pick someone, but I just love the consistency, and it makes every athlete in the hurdles better and better because they know they can't let up in any race that they're competing in. So shout out to the women's 100-meter hurdles. The other 3 competitions, we have the women's 200, where this isn't the most flashy of fields or anything like that, but you have to give it up for Anavia Battle, who is essentially dominating the Diamond League. She is undefeated in all of her Diamond League races. She's undefeated in some of her other 200 races and other races she's run this year. So Anavia Battle is absolutely on one this year, and in my opinion, she's almost like I don't know. I'm trying to think of it like she's almost like breaking the system where you wouldn't expect someone like an Anavia Battle to truly dominate in a sense. And this isn't to say like she's, well, actually, no, she is beating out Shericka Jackson's, but she's not necessarily beating out like a Julian Alfred or something like that. But the fact that she's able to come consistently to the Diamond League, show up, win, and then double back once again, this is a huge testament to Anavia Battle and her ability to really, be the best athlete that she can be despite being overlooked. She also, similar to Lena Aubrey-Jackson, this past year, she left Tandra Buford-Bailey's club and now moved back to Ohio State, being trained by her coach there. Seems to be working out very, very well. I'm excited to see how this translates to the USA Championships later on in July/August. But in the field, some competition. Dina Asher-Smith, I think, is probably her toughest competition here because Dina is coming off a 100-meter season's best of 10.9 seconds. She is, kind of getting better and better as the year progresses. She started off the year running some longer distances, 400, 300. So Dina Asher-Smith, I think, is going to be her toughest competition, but you cannot sleep on Brittany Brown. Brittany Brown has dealt with some injuries early in the 2025 season. We saw her in Grand Slam track in Miami. She unfortunately had to pull out of Kingston and Philly, but she, of course, is going to be in this conversation. Shout out to Mackenzie Long, Olympic finalist from last year. She's competed at the Diamond Leagues. I think it was in the Rome Diamond League. So, she's getting her footing as the year progresses. You have Amy Hunt, who maybe I guess she's pretty good. I was going to say maybe a little bit better in the 100, but, you know, she's, of course, someone who can't be left out the conversation. Audrey Leduc from Canada. You have Deja Stevens making a return to the track, right? After some years, she, of course, was dealt with a ban during 2020. She also, I think, gave birth to a child. So she's making a return. She made the Olympic Games in 2016. I think made the final there. 2017 at the World Champs. She, I think, made the final there as well. So Deja Stevens also in this conversation. And then you have Helene as well. So this is a very, very high quality field that I'm looking for, but it's right now it's going to be hard for me to say that anyone except Anavia Battle is going to win. Well, it's not hard for me to say that, but I think she's the odds-on favorite just because she has that momentum for 2025 so far. So really excited to see how that plays out, and I'm looking to see what Dina does. Dina is a 2019 world champion. She's a 2022 world bronze medalist behind Sharika and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. So she's one who I'm looking to see get back into the fold when talking about the 200. Got 4th place at the Olympics last year. Now, final 2 competitions, men's 400-meter hurdles. We're going to see Rai Benjamin once again. We won't see Carson Warholm or Alison Dos Santos, but Rai Benjamin coming off his best of 46.48 seconds at the Stockholm Diamond League, which was number 10 all time. I think that's a 5th fastest performance of his career. Like, it's getting like crazy when talking about the 46-second performances. Check out the video I just did about the progression of the 400-meter hurdles, but excited to see how he does here. You're, of course, going to have Trevor Bassett, who Trevor Bassett is really looking like. Trevor Bassett, to me, is proving why he is, behind Rai Benjamin, the most consistent hurdler for the United States, right? He's made every single team since 2022. He's medaled at the 2022 World Championships. He made it to the final in 2023 when that was like the fastest semifinal in history. Like, Trevor Bassett is one who should not be slept on, and he's having a very, very, very good season. Very good season. Don't sleep on him. You also have Abdurrahman Masamba, looking to see how he does kind of progress through the year as well. You have Lima. You have a couple other guys who are very much in the conversation, but this is really going to be Rai Benjamin and then the rest of the field. And then I'm looking to see how Trevor Bassett does and then also how Samba does. These are the guys that I'm keeping an eye out for in this race. Last competition that I'm looking forward to is the men's triple jump. This is going to be good. This is going to be good, man. I don't know, man. I love this field, and these guys have been competing very consistently throughout the year. Jordan Scott, he has been really on a roll throughout the year. Shout out to Jordan Scott. He's been on a roll. You also have Donald Scott, you know, one of the veterans in the triple jump, but you know, he's going to be in the field. Lázaro Martinez, of course, you can never count him out. Max Hess from Germany, he's always been a consistent guy, right? You have Amir Dos Santos, right? You have Zango, you have Tricky. You have so many guys who are in this field that I'm excited to see how they actually do show up here. Now, you don't have the Olympic champion. You don't have the former Olympic champion, right? None of those guys are in the field, but this is very, very high quality. All these guys are capable of jumping 17 meters, but it's up to who is actually going to do it on the day and maybe jump, 17.5 or something like that. I mean, someone like Jordan Scott, he's been having a really good season, setting personal bests a couple times throughout the year. He's only jumped 17.27, but only really doesn't highlight how much progression he's been making throughout the year. So shout out to Jordan Scott. I'm excited to see how this does play out. But that is the Paris Diamond League. Again, the 2 main stories I'm looking at: men's 110 hurdles, Grant Holloway making his return to the track after sitting out, taking some time off to refocus his mental, his physical, and all that. And then also the women's 400. We're not getting that boss battle with Paulino, Naser, Sydney, and Gabby, but we are getting Naser and Paulino in the 400, along with Isabella Whitaker, along with Amber Anning, Lena Irby-Jackson, right, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be exciting. But let me know what you think about the Paris Diamond League and who are some of the athletes that you're looking to see and what some of the results that we might be expecting to see tomorrow. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always truly do appreciate y'all, and thanks for watching.